The book of Ecclesiastes, verse 10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. Okay, so hi everybody, this is Christian RPG Gamers. So I found this game. I wouldn't say it's a new game, but to me it's a new game, right? It's called Hearthstone, and it's from Blizzard. Now I don't know. This game I'm not sure how old this game is actually. I mean, I think I've heard about it 5-6 years ago. I just never really got around to it, and I decided to try. I gave it a shake and bake, and I just want to give some of my thoughts on it, and I'll try to put a Christian spin on it too. So this is the first time I played this game, and I think overall, now I'm only in the beginning of the game, but I think overall this is a pretty good game. Like, I really have I would say one thing, it is very fun to play. Now, I'm sure there is some microtransactions, and I'm sure the game gets progressively more difficult, and I'm sure that this game will, it has oppressive aspects, like all these games, right? But from what I played and what I've seen about this game, in my opinion, it is extremely fun. And it has very similar mechanics to the video game called Cardpocalypse. So, although Cardpocalypse might have been based off of this game, to be honest, but it is a lot of fun. So I think I played against the AI for some of the tutorial. I mean, the tutorial is just like an auto win, though. I've been playing some games. Now, I mean, obviously I'm playing against a lot of people who are new to the game, and maybe they don't have experience with this kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think I won most of them. I think I might have lost one of them, but I won like 3 or 4 of these games. I think I lost one. I know that this game can be very difficult, I'm sure, at times. Because, like, I mean, it really depends on how you get matched up with and, like, what kind of decks you're building. So you gotta keep your ego in check. Because, I mean, you could lose really bad, too. But it is very interesting, and is very cool and fun. So, based on the basic premise is... So, I think it's deeply inspired by World of Warcraft. It has most of the major classes that you would see in WoW. And each of the classes have their own little deck themes. So, like, you got the warrior, you got the... And, like, I don't always support magic, but, like, it's just fantasy, right? You got, like, the sorcerer or something, and you got the druid, or, like, the beastmaster. And I'm not super familiar with WoW personally, but... And they have, like, they had, like, the Death Knight, they had a paladin, like a warlock, it's supposed to be like, I think, a priest. There's a bunch of other classes. I'm not familiar with this. I didn't play WoW too much myself, but maybe like a shaman, little totems and stuff. Again, this thing in each of the decks, you basically, how you obtain cards is you open these little booster packs, and every booster pack will give you a rare, and it'll give you a pool of some, I think, like these, I'm not sure the rarity of this game, probably like commons or uncommons. And I mean, the game gives you a handful of some starter cards so you can start playing. And there's a bunch of different expansions and stuff too. So, I mean, I'm sure there's some very expensive rare cards in this game that will probably let you beat every one of your opponents, but there's also, like, leveling up your characters and stuff too. Although I'm not sure what some of this stuff entirely means. This is just some of my footage from when I was playing it yesterday. So some of the basics of how you play the game is you have this food, or I think like a mana, and every turn you get, like, so you start out with, like, I think you start out with 1, And then they have the turn player and the second player. Sometimes they give you a temporary bonus if you're your second player. They want to keep the game somewhat balanced and fair. So you start at 1, and every single turn you get an extra mana, so you go from 1 to 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if the game locks you at 10 mana as the capacity. I'd have to keep, I don't know the game that well. But, and then, you see these little mana symbols, like, 2, 1, 2, 3. So, you have 1 mana, you can only use 1 card. You have 2, you can use 2 1s that are 1, 2. You have 3, you have 4. You can split the mana costs up. You also have a special activated ability. Yeah, so like if you went second. And I think the person who goes first ultimately gets to attack first. You get to do your stuff faster. So, I mean, obviously being turn player is obviously better. But like, that's Paladin. He can make a 1/1 for 2 mana. And then like there's the Beastmaster or Beastcaller, I think. I can't remember exactly his name. He gets to make I think he does several damage to the opposing player. And just like if you played Cardpocalypse, they have like a taunt or a defense you have to go through in order to get to the main boss. And you can fight these minions on the same sides. And there's a maximum limit of 7 minions, at least from what I can tell. I mean, I only know the very basic, simple rules, but I believe there's 7 minions you can have on your team. Your opponent can have 7. So you can fight your opponent. You can have your minions fight your opponent's minions, and then your minions can also fight against the enemy boss. So you can have control over the battlefield, and there's cards you can play from your hand. You get special abilities. Like, you can destroy your opponent's minions. You can, there's all sorts of special abilities. The shaman makes little totems that can give you passive buffs. Paladin has a little, called like divine intervention. They put these little protective shields around your guys. So, every single class has their own special little effects. So it's definitely pretty cool. And this game, I can see why this game is very interesting. It could be, I'm not going to say it can be a little bit of addictive, but it could be theoretically. It's very fun. And I personally, I've yet to actually build my own deck. I don't really have that many cards. I've opened like 4 or 5 packs so far. So, I'm still kind of like a little bit of like a newbie or like a rookie. So, yeah, this game is definitely just like Cardpocalypse. I'm not sure which one came first. Probably this one, though. So, and then when you open packs again, you can customize your own decks. And if you say you can kind of build the deck you want to play, and following your own strategy. So we'll see what happens, right? No, this game might have egregious monetization, so I don't know how long I'll keep playing it or not. But I try to give some games a chance. And so far, I would say it seems like, quote unquote, mostly fair from what I can tell. So you can earn coins, I think, from special events and stuff. You get these daily rewards and things. So, and then I think you spend like 100 gold coins to open a booster pack. And and now I'm only in the beginning of the game, and so I'm just mostly doing these little, it's like these, the new player stuff. But I don't want to say I presume, but I'm pretty sure there is ways to earn in-game currency pretty reasonably. I'm not going to say it's like perfect or something, but I do think that there is. I'm sure there is more than plentiful amounts of currency that, like, if you are more free to play, that the game would be mostly fair for the most part, as far as I could tell. Now, if you're getting into like very competitive, very you're getting into the the upper leagues and upper ranks. Like, I could understand, like, if you're playing in like the super high end meta or something, I'm sure people who spend a lot of money have crazy good cards or crazy good, decks or whatever. So, and I think there are better booster packs you can buy basically. I mean, again, I feel like just like in Magic the Gathering or just like in most of these games, once you get at least a good couple solid decks with some decent cards, I mean, a lot of this stuff becomes, I mean, it really kind of starts to become a little bit subjective, and it's like, I mean, you only get so many slots, so it's like, and like as long as the cards are pretty balanced for the most part, I feel like it's probably not that big of a deal. Unless if you're playing pretty casually, and you just want to play a fun game every once in a while, it's not the biggest a deal. But if you're really competitive, spending money will obviously give you a pretty good in-game advantage. Again, I would say, from like a Christian point of view, I mean, if I want to put a Christian perspective on this, I mean, I'm not really sure, to be honest, that, I mean, okay, so like, I mean, obviously I know there's like sorcery in the game and stuff, and there is some really shady, morally gray stuff. Honestly, I would say that, I mean, obviously you have to use discernment, right? It's like, this game is based heavily off of World of Warcraft. So if you were going to use discernment, you have the discernment based off of World of Warcraft. And that game is pretty dark, and that game can be pretty brutal. And this is kind of like a fantastical version of the game itself. It's probably based a little bit off of Magic the Gathering a little bit. But I mean, I don't know, right? Some of these things, I feel like, again, you're gonna have to make your own decision. I would say, as a person of the faith, you should probably try to avoid like the more pure-blooded, like, sorcery classes and stuff. I mean, because that stuff is very dangerous. I would say, especially if you have a choice in the matter, and it's not like, because like in Magic the Gathering, they give you the 5 colors. And I feel like in that kind of game, it gets very difficult. And then black has some dark, dangerous crap in it. But, again, like this game does have a lot of classes and stuff to it. So it's like, I mean, I would say you should probably at least try to be careful. I would say at least if you play this game, start with a lot of the more normal, neutral style classes. And like, try to avoid like if there's like a sorcerer or like, the warlock or stuff like that. Maybe try to, or like a something really dark and perverse. Maybe try to skip that initially. There's probably a couple really sketchy, shady classes, and try to focus on some of the normal classes to start with. And then maybe over time, once you have a good foundation of having access to normal stuff, maybe you can try a couple of the Magic classes if you feel like your conviction allows it. I mean, especially if you don't have to do it. I mean, like, you don't have to play as a wizard or something either. Like in Magic the Gathering, it's like pretty much every single thing in it is just all hyper fantasy, and almost all of it has like magic related stuff, so you can't really get around it. But since you have classes, at least you have the options. So I would focus on normal stuff first, and then maybe if your conviction allows it, and you get like some really good cards or something, maybe you try out a couple of those decks. If you can keep your crap together, right? I mean, I don't claim to be the moral authority. In holiness, only God truly is. Maybe the church or something is. I mean, I don't know. I would say, you just gotta be wise. I mean, a lot of the stuff, I feel like, I love fantasy personally, but there is some dangerous crap in fantasy. And to tell you the truth, there's a lot of dangerous crap everywhere. But I mean, fantasy is no exception. And World of Warcraft is based off of Warcraft 3. Now, I haven't really played Warcraft 1 or 2, and those games are super dark and super brutal at times. Like, they have like demon summoning. They have like they're called like a Lich King. And they have like they have like mind possession and necromancy, and there's a lot of really brutal, hateful stuff. And like, I mean, World of Warcraft is is a very dark franchise. Now, I mean, again, I'm not going to say that I don't think person can't play the game at all, but or even Hearthstone, that is. But you should at least be aware of what you're getting yourself into. And I mean, I feel like if you're going into a dark world, I'd say at least at minimum, have some discernment at the same time. It's like, I personally like playing a lot of dark fantasy. I've enjoyed in the past a lot of high fantasy, dark fantasy, all the whole wide spectrum of stuff, right? But I mean, if you're being real, it's not exactly always the healthiest thing for your brain at the same time. Watching fantasy or fictional characters, kill each other or something, it's not always the healthiest of things. And just people just doing dark crap, it's like it does take a toll over time. And I mean, this is just like, just little token pieces, right? But there are things you should try to be careful of. But I personally enjoy playing a lot of this stuff, and I'm probably going to keep playing it. In holiness, if it's within God's will, I'm probably going to keep playing it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you have to be stupid either. Just you don't have to willingly just give yourself over to stupid. I mean, you have to do something with your life at the same time, but there can be limits. So what are some of my other thoughts about this game? Again, I feel like I would be open-minded to trying to play this game, but I'm also going to be closed-minded if this game is very oppressive, and if this is a very microtransactional, oppressive game. It's going to hamper my willingness to be very open to it in the long term. I mean, it might turn into a game where I might just, because I have a large list of these rotating deck builders and card games that sometimes I just get bored of them. It's like sometimes with these kind of games, you don't want to play them just relentlessly, because eventually you get kind of sick and tired of them. Unless it's a really big mainstream game where you have huge amounts of players and huge amounts of options, these kind of games can get kind of boring. I mean, you can play a game like this for a couple months, but you'll probably get sick of it. Like a lot of these kind of games. The only one, Magic the Gathering, in my opinion, I really struggled to really get that sick of it, to be honest. But even playing Arena, I mean, you do kind of, it does sometimes feel a little bit old. I played games like Yu-Gi-Oh! I was playing that on my PlayStation 5. I was playing some of the older sets and decks. I mean, I had a pretty good time. I mean, I had access to pretty much all the cards, at least all the older stuff. And I mean, there's all sorts of games out there. There's just a Pokemon trading card game. It's called Pokemon Pocket TCG, I think it's called, or something. And then that game is pretty fun, and I did enjoy it. But there's only three packs you can choose from, and they're all kind of linked to the same pack. And it's I got a couple pretty good decks for it. Yeah, I tried out all the decks I had available, or at least I tried the other ones. I mean, obviously I like Paladins quite a bit, so it's I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty open to most of the classes and the stuff. I mean, I'm a little bit sketchy of some of the really dark crap, but I mean, I'm open to trying a bunch of different stuff. I don't think you can play against the AI, which could be a little bit shady. Sometimes I like to play against an AI, but I mean, as long as the opponents I'm playing against are we're on a fairly even playing field. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I probably would rather play against a real player over an AI more often than not, but it depends on the kind of game that I'm playing. If you're playing a game more competitively, it's more fun to play against a player, but there's also enjoyment playing against an AI sometimes too. The AI in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is honestly pretty freaking good. It can beat you. It can win. But AIs also just are a computer and they're not human, so it's a little bit debatable. So So yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, this will probably become rotated. You know, I might use it for the channel over the course of time. I mean, I don't know how much I like this game. I don't know how this is gonna look or sound either. But the volume might be really bad. I mean, it's hard for me to keep track sometimes, but I mean, again, like there is like 12 different classes as far as I can tell in the game, and there's probably at least I think there's at least like maybe 10 different sets, probably 1,000 plus cards in this game. So it's like, and then there are new updates, you know, probably reasonably frequently. They have like a ban list. I mean, and then there is probably a pretty fat community too. So it's like, you know, I mean, to be honest with somebody, this might become more of like an eternal game that I'm willing to play. I mean, unless, you know, the servers shut down or something. And like, if I really start liking to play this game and they have some good deals, I might spend some money, because I do feel like I'm willing to spend money on something. I don't like to just, you know, burn cash on. I don't like to be stupid with my money, but I do think that it is good to support things that, I mean, like on an ethical level, right? It's good to support things that you enjoy. So it's like, if you like playing, you know, you like playing Arena, you know, it's like if you're playing every day or you're playing multiple times a week, you know, maybe consider spending a couple bucks on it, or spending, like, you know, maybe buy like a battle pass or something. Again, like, oh yeah, this is where I learned how many minions you could have in play. Like, I mean, it's good to know stuff like this. So, and to be honest, it's probably pretty hard to keep that many minions in play if you're playing super seriously. But I mean, again, like, you know, I do think it is ethical to support things that you enjoy daily, and it's also wise, because if you it's like you keep the lights on, right? If you go to a local card store every single week, you know, it's like there is wisdom to spending some money at the store you go to. I mean, you know, there is a level of ethicalness. Now, I mean, again, I also don't think that people have to go out of their way to spend massive amounts of money either. But it's like, it helps them to, you know, it helps them to stay more relevant. It boosts their numbers up a bit. It's, I mean, again, it helps them to pay their bills. It keeps their servers clean and fresh, and it keeps their places, you know, employees, you know, the employees, you know, are going to be stocked up, and they're going to have, you know, they're going to be healthy and happy. They can pay their wages or whatever. Again, some companies are unethical, and some companies do. You know, some companies waste and squander their resources, and they're bad stewards. But, you know, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is for yourself, not for them. You know, in holiness, it's between God and you and God. So you have to be responsible for your resources. I mean, obviously that is if you can afford it, right? And if you can't afford it, then just don't spend any money on it. If you're a bad financial spot, ain't nobody gonna judge you, right? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But if you have enough wealth and, like, you play a game consistently, and just maybe throw them a couple bucks. And to be honest, you might also get some nice stuff in the game. You know, you spend $10 on the game or something, or $20. Maybe you get a good deal, or some special, like, buy a little in-game box that gives you like 20, 50 packs or something. Or you get a bunch of you get some cool cosmetic stuff. It could greatly enhance your gameplay experience. And you don't have to go wild either. But if you got a whole bunch of packs or cards or special options and opportunities, that could make your game really good. And it could be really good in the long term too. So yeah, I mean, I've been playing this game. I'm probably gonna play it again. To be honest, I think this game is fun enough, and I enjoy this enough that I'll keep playing for a little while still. I mean, I've only played this, I think, what is this? How long is this video? I played this about 1 hour so far. So, like, I know I haven't done too much in it. And, like, I haven't even unlocked all the classes yet. So, but also, I mean, I played Warcraft 3, both the game and the expansion. And, like, you know, I've enjoyed, I've experienced quite a bit from World of Warcraft. I mean, I haven't really played the game myself too much. but I've watched so many videos on it. I watched the movie they made. I mean, I constantly hear people like YouTubers talking about it. People like the guy, what's his face called? Asmongold constantly talks about this game. I've watched tons of footage on walkthroughs and people going and playing the game. You know, this game is like World of Warcraft is basically a legend. It's like the first of the major MMOs that became more mainstreamed. So it's just in the Hearthstone, it's a cool little card game. Yeah, apparently Elder Scrolls Online has a little card game or something too. I haven't played it yet, but I mean, it could be good. It could be terrible, but it could be good. I mean, I'd be willing to give it a chance. I mean, I like these kind of card games. Like, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla has these little quote unquote gods. You put them little totems and stuff down. And you fight on the battlefield. You know, The Witcher has like Gwent. You know, Kingdom Come Deliverance. What's it called? Like Farkle, I think it's called. A lot of these games have some pretty cool little in-game, you know, mini games. And, you know, some of them might be a little bit bad and some of them might be good, but, you know, they are fun to play. They're fun to collect. I think World of Warcraft has a trading card game. I never really played it, but I mean, it does sound cool. I mean, I'd be interested in that too. But I mean, I'd be interested in at least trying it. Maybe I want to watch a video on it or something. It's kind of old. It's probably a dead game, but it's still cool. So yeah, I mean, I guess, like, you know, here's some footage, right? Again, I'm not sure what kind of. I mean, my biggest concern is the monetization. I mean, for my biggest negative, you know, obviously there's some dangerous crap too, but I don't have it unlocked yet entirely. I'm just gonna take a look here. Hopefully, there's no information showing. So it's a new class unlocked. Okay, so they give you some gold. I just don't know, once you get into the main game, how much gold there's gonna actually be available. So this is some kind of a page. I'm not sure if this is like a free pass or they have like a. It's like, here's some more classes. You know, so there's a Death Knight, a Demon Hunter, and they do. If I'm being real with somebody, at least initially, like, I don't want to say, like, you know, too. It does seem, to be honest, so far, that they do give you a fat pool of resources to start out with. It's reasonably comfortable, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect. I don't know if there's like a daily pack or something, or daily resources you earn. I don't know how egregious the amount. Let's just take a look. As long as it doesn't show my information too much. So I mean, I know they have the golden pack and the normal pack. I just don't know what the different pack types exactly mean. I've seen some different sets. So here's some bundles. Again, they have it's a nice welcome pack. It's $10 or 1,000 of those crystals. You know, you get 20 booster packs for $10 and like a random legendary. Or you can pay, again, like, you can pay $2 for get the 2 of the legendary cards. I mean, some of these prices are probably borderline egregious. I'm just being real, right? I mean, you would make your own decisions. So some of these other types of packs. Again, I mean, some of these you can spend anywhere between like $5 to like even going on $100+. I just am generally very frugal with my resources, but it depends on your financial situation. I mean, again, I personally feel like if there's a good deal, then that could be something you can consider. Like they have the normal ones. Again, this is the in-game currency here. Let's just go ahead and use some. And then, I guess all you really do here is just, I was already at it. And you can open some booster packs. Again, as long as the game gives you a reasonable amount of free versions, I'm not really that mad or anything, right? I mean, if you don't like it, just don't play it, right? It's not the end of the world. And it feels mostly nice and smooth. Again, I don't know how half of these cards even work. Again, like you see on the bottom here, it shows like Death Knight, all classes, Druid, Paladin, Warrior. So it's like every single time you get cards, it gives you a wide assortment for each one of your classes. So again, as you do, again, I'm not sure what some of that stuff means. Oh, that must be for like quests. Again, I think when you get these certain quests, I know I'm still in the intro area. It does feel mostly comfortable for the most part. Wasn't very happy initially about the way you open packs, but now that I think about it, it's actually kind of nice. Again, it shows like a demon. I mean, I don't. Sometimes with entertainment, you gotta just accept a level of entertainment. I know that there's bad stuff in here, but like, look at this, right? It says like a priest using holy magic or holy powers, and there's like a paladin, right? And then there's like a demon. So it's like there's also angels, or they call them like celestial, or honestly I don't even know World of Warcraft's name for angels, but or whatever they're called. It probably starts with like a letter A or something. Yeah, I think I've opened like 5 or 6 of these free packs. I don't know if I should have been opening the golden packs or not, to be honest. I'm not sure what that is. So you can craft your own cards? Okay, so it's like, it depends on how awful the crafting, how much experience it costs or resources it costs. But I mean, it does look as if you can. I mean, it's not like, I would say it's not an impossible thing to obtain the cards you need. You might not be able to build a top tier meta deck early on, but you can build enough decks and get enough cards that you could play the game for fun for many hours to be, right? You could play the game for 10, 20, 100 hours and probably have a really good time. It won't be perfect if you're not playing super competitively, but I think that'd be fine. It's like the game overall, from what I can tell, at least so far initially, is that it's mostly fair and it's a mostly fun normal game. I'm sure people complain, and I'm sure the game can get awful at times because of the monetization, and because other people can. And the same thing with playing like Arena. And some people have been playing Magic the Gathering for literally forever on these things, and they just have like basically cracked good decks. But if you play the game for like hours on it, or you play the game for years, you probably can slowly, even for free, right? For free, with paying a level of some money or subscription, you could get really good decks and cards too. It's probably mostly fair, right? Again, I think I have this what's it called, Gwent. This was like the Witcher Thronebreaker spinoff, or Witcher Gwent spinoff. This game is pretty fun. And again, you can spend money. I mean, I really don't spend that much money in these games. Usually I buy like a lot of the welcome packages because they're pretty cheap deals. And I might buy a couple small things here and there if there's like a really good sale. Sometimes I buy battle passes. Battle passes tend to be a good deal. I mean, it depends on the game, right? And Gwent, the game is mostly fair. It's a pretty fun game. And you can earn a lot of stuff, and you get a lot of resources. The drafts are kind of interesting. There's some fun matches you can play. And again, like Magic the Gathering is mostly fair. I mean, Magic the Gathering, in my opinion, the Arena is a really good, solid, free-to-play kind of game. It gives you coins. You can buy packs with the coins. you just the coins they give you are not that hard to earn, and they give you they give you the incentive to play about maybe like a one solid match worth of games every day. You play like 2 to 3 games and you earn all your dailies. It's presuming you can win some of them. And the game does incentivize you to win, but you don't even have to necessarily win on Arena. And I would say, by the way, most important thing is, just have fun. Have clean fun in holiness and glorify God. And, have a good time. Try to be moral. Try to be, honorable. And then you're a winner. And then glorify God and, be a winner. So, okay, so I would say, in the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts are on Hearthstone or about World of Warcraft or whatever these kind of games are, and what your thoughts are or aren't on them, and whether you think they should be avoided, whether you love them and they're a little bit addictive, how much you spend on this stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. I appreciate your watching. God is good.